Ready?
Let's go.
Hi guys and welcome to my YouTube channel. So today I've come back after, I think it's been like a month and a bit since I last posted my last video. But anyway, I'm back again with a new video and I have William.
Hello.
I have Will, who is going to join me. Now you might be thinking, why is he in my videos? Why are you in my videos?
Why would people think that?
Well, you're not really in my videos so much, really. So yeah, we've come back again. You guys seem to like us doing videos together, so we are back again. And today we're actually going to be doing a video on our miscarriage story. So in England, and I don't know if it's like a worldwide thing, I'm not too sure, but it's been Baby Loss Awareness Week. So some of you guys might have known that last year in March, we unfortunately had a miscarriage. So I thought it'd be good to come on here just to share our story, but then also I thought it'd be quite good to hear like a male perspective of what it's like to lose a baby, because often you hear the female perspective, but I thought it'd be quite nice to hear from the male perspective. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Good, good, good. So I'll just give you guys like a quick snippet of my miscarriage. So I had a miscarriage, and basically it's also known as a silent miscarriage. So what happened to me was that the baby had died at 6 weeks and 6 days, but it took my body 4 weeks to recognize that the pregnancy had stopped happening. So in my mind, I was like, oh, I'm like 11 weeks and 5 days. I've got my scan coming up soon. And then we can tell people, because, you know, you wait for the 12-week scan and then you tell people. And I was, you know, really looking forward to it. But unfortunately, before we could have our 12-week scan, I actually started the process of having a miscarriage. And my one felt like it just had dragged on for so long. And I remember when I was 7 weeks pregnant, I woke up one morning and I said to Will, something doesn't feel right. And Will was like, oh, Nseko, you're just being too worried, blah, blah, blah. But I just felt in my heart that something wasn't quite right. But I just thought, okay, maybe I'm just being OTT. I'll just, you know, not think too much about it. But, you know, when we went for a scan, like a few weeks later, we did find out that I'd actually lost the baby. And it was quite traumatic. I just remember crying for months and months and months. It was just a really hard time. And for me, it felt like it was quite brutal because I had friends that were pregnant at the same time. And even though I was really happy for them, it was just hard for me, being quite honest, to be around them, because I would see their bumps like growing. And in the back of my mind, I'd be thinking, that should have been me, you know. But yeah, I was still really happy for them. But it was just such a weird place and position to be, and I can also assume that it would have been really hard for them as well. My friends that were pregnant during that time, like, how do they approach me and what do they do? My miscarriage like felt like it took forever to like happen. Because of the nature of the type of miscarriage I had, it means that the process of the baby coming out naturally takes a really long time, and the hospital has suggested that I don't have a D&C because it said that it would have led to me having loads and loads of bleeding. So I just opted for it to happen naturally, and it just felt like forever. And the night that the baby actually came out was the one night that Will had decided to go for work, and it was just like, of all the timings that it could have been, it was just, yeah, it wasn't great at all. So that's just a small snippet really of my miscarriage. So I'm gonna hand over to Will, and I think I'll ask him questions. What do you want to do? Do you just want to talk, or do you want
Do some questions, yeah. Just ask me questions.
Ask you questions. Oh, oopsie. That's our baby monitor.
Oh.
That's the baby monitor. So, question number 1. What was it like going through, well, obviously you physically didn't go through it, but what was it like experiencing child loss?
Yeah, it was really difficult. Like, it's a weird one because we lost the baby like quite early, but you get your hopes up so much, and you get really excited about it, and you start picturing all the stuff you're gonna do with this kid, like whether it's a boy or girl, but you start picturing it in your head, like what you're gonna do with them. And I think yeah, I was already picturing like what was gonna happen in the future.
And I think because the pregnancy came as such a shock to us.
Yeah, I was, oh my gosh, the day I found out, I was so shocked. I was so nervous when I found out, like, I didn't know what to do.
Will looked so pale, guys. I've never seen Will look that pale. He just looks, when I took the test and he was on the phone, I was like, Will, I'm pregnant. He was like, you're joking, you're joking, you're joking.
I couldn't believe it.
He just could not believe it. He was like, oh, why are you lying, why are you lying? I showed him. And he had to look at the test and then like look at the symbols on, you know, you get like the leaflets in the pregnancy test, and he had to use that to be like, oh, okay, maybe you are pregnant. It was such a shock. So yeah, go on.
Yeah, so yeah, it was just really difficult when you get your hopes up. And I think the thing that I found most difficult was that I couldn't really do anything, if that made sense. Like Nseko had to go through it, almost like all the physical stuff by herself. Like I couldn't take it from her. So it was just horrible. And like she said, like it was really difficult because I took time off work. Then I decided I need to go back to the work. And the day I went back to work was the day that it happened. And yeah, it was really difficult. Yeah, I don't know. It was just rubbish. Yeah.
It was. How do you think that affected you emotionally?
Emotionally, I found it difficult because I didn't really know what to do with myself. At first, like I knew like I need to support, like be there for you and support you as much as possible, and also myself, like I needed to grieve. But I kind of found myself like at a point where I was ready to move on a lot quicker than you.
Yeah.
Not that you get over it, you kind of just have to move on. And I found it difficult, like trying to get you to that place. But I think what I did is try to bury my head in like getting more gigs, getting this, doing that, and just trying to get out there and work as much as possible. And I think I tried to distract myself with that rather than sort of face it in some ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's so true. And I think I found it really hard when Will was like getting to the point where, not that you get over it, but I think our grieving styles are just so different, and I found that really hard because there were days where like on Sunday after church where I'll just be sobbing, and Will, to like sort of cope with it, would just like go off and talk to other people and not,
anyway.
and not come and like console me. And I used to find that really hard, and I used to think, does he not care like what is actually going on? But it's actually, we just have different ways of like dealing with it. And I think maybe because I had to go through the physical process of it as well, it meant that it was just, yeah, it was just too traumatic for me, that whole experience, really.
But I think too, like with me, like I find it a lot harder to show my emotions like around people, like in public, and I wouldn't want to be standing there like being really upset and everyone watching me, if that makes sense, because then you get all that sort of pity stuff which I can't stand. Oh, you okay? All that stuff, I can't stand it. You know when people come up to you and rub you on the back and things like, oh, isn't it difficult? No, I'm not a fan of that. So I tend to keep myself quite close and then only really show my emotions to like Nseko or close family.
Yeah, that is it's so true. Oh, yeah, no, that's very true. So how do you think you best supported me emotionally? And vice versa.
Okay, I think at the start, I personally thought I was great. I thought I was really good.
The first 2 weeks.
The first 2 weeks I thought I was really good.
Yeah.
I don't know, well, it's up to you to say, isn't it? Was I good?
No, how do you think you supported me?
How did I support you? Just lots of cuddles and lots of like, I was trying to talk into the future a lot. So like, even though this hasn't worked out, we're gonna do it. Like we're gonna get pregnant again. It's gonna happen. Like,
which when he was telling me that at that time, I just didn't want to hear it because I genuinely believed that having multiple miscarriages was going to be my story. Literally, I had it in my mind that, you know, it didn't work out that time and that's it. It's not gonna work out, and I just had that mindset. And I think that's what made like the whole, I don't know, kind of worse because I just felt like I was never ever going to fall pregnant again, or if we were going to have children, it was going to take such a long time. But I'm just so thankful that it didn't take a long time, and we have the twins who are absolutely amazing. We just love them so much. But going back, what sort of things did you think that people said to you helped you or didn't help you?
Oh, that's a tricky one. What helped me? Do you know what? I'm not really sure like what did actually help me. All I knew is I had to look forward. I couldn't keep looking back. So I don't really... I mean, people say a lot of stuff, but I didn't really... Like, thinking about it, I can't really remember any of it. All I really remember is being with you. Like, I can't really remember much. I can't really... The whole time was a bit of a blur.
Yeah.
But I can't really... Just people being there for you. Like, I think it was just people coming over and just having your back. I think that was what I remember. I don't really remember what people said.
Yeah. I think for me, overall, a lot of the things that people did say were quite helpful. But I found that, especially like church, people would say stuff like, oh, everything happens for a reason. It wasn't God's plan. God knew that was going to happen. And actually, at that time, I actually didn't need to hear that. And it just made me feel really worse because I just felt so angry with God at that time. And it really did make me question like my faith and stuff like that, because in my mind I was thinking I didn't ask to get pregnant because we weren't planning at that time to get pregnant. Obviously having kids was in the plan for our future, but not then. And I just felt really angry about it. I was like, so, you know, I got pregnant, I was so excited, and it was like God had just like robbed me, is how I felt. And I've mentioned it before on like our church's YouTube channel during one of our service leading, that I just felt like I wanted to literally go in a boxing ring and just punch God so much because I was so angry with him. And I just didn't know, the only way I thought I could deal with it is if I punched God. How do you think having a miscarriage affected your faith and your relationship with God, or if it did or not?
It made me question things a lot. I didn't understand, like, I know people, and I'm not saying that people go through so much stuff and they go through this so many times. I found myself questioning things through it. And I think it affected my faith, but in some ways it made it stronger. So, yeah, sometimes when things like bad things happen, you end up getting closer to God. And I think, that was maybe something.
I think it was the timing of it.
Yeah, the timing was difficult.
The time of it was just awful.
Yeah, I had some stuff I had a big work opportunity that didn't happen, and then all these other things. Everything happened at the same time.
Everything just crumbled.
Yeah, it was a bit rubbish.
It was absolutely awful. What would you say to one of your male friends whose partner might be going through a miscarriage or has experienced miscarriage? What would your advice be to them and how they can best support their partner?
Just be there for your partner, really. Just do what you need to do, give all the hugs, get all the chocolate, get all the stuff you need to get, and just really I think one thing that I wish I did better was maybe be a bit more compassionate later on.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
For sure.
So
being honest, yeah.
I think being a bit more compassionate later on, and maybe not trying to get Nseko to where I was all the time. I think that's what I found difficult. But I think looking back, I wish I was a bit more understanding. Yeah,
because there'd be times where I was crying in the car, and he'd be like, "What are you crying for? Why are you crying for? Why are you listening to sad music? Why are you listening?"
Alright, so don't
Why
tell
are you listening to sad
everyone.
music? Yeah, he used to get a bit frustrated.
Yeah, but why do you listen to...
At the process.
Yeah, but you listen to music that makes you upset. I don't understand that.
I don't know, I find it comforting.
Huh?
I find it comforting. Yeah, he used to get a bit frustrated that I wasn't at the point that he was at. Didn't you?
Yeah, I did, yeah. So looking back, that's what I would change. What would you change?
What would I change? That is a good question. Oh, I need to think about that. What, as in how I was...
Well, were you there? How were you there for me?
I think... I've been put on the spot.
Yeah, I'm asking.
How was I there for you? I would give you cuddles.
No, I
And emotional support.
No, I was giving you cuddles.
No, and emotional support.
When?
But I don't know, I did, because of the way Will was acting, I kind of felt like he didn't want support. So Will was, because of the type of person he is, he likes to bury things underneath the carpet. So I didn't know whether or not he wanted support because of how you are.
I mean...
Fair enough?
Yeah, fair enough, yeah.
You don't seem convinced.
Well...
Go on, explain.
No, I think, to be honest, I think I had to... In some ways, I think, like, as a guy, you kind of have to almost bury your... You have to be there for the woman so much. I think you have to kind of put yourself aside and just be there for your partner.
You like space, so I try to sometimes give you space. And, like, I used to want to just lay in bed all day. But I'll let you get out of bed.
Oh, thank you.
And then have to stay in bed with me all day crying.
Yeah. Now looking back, I remember why I was getting frustrated with you. But yeah.
It's one of those things that you just don't think will ever happen to you. And like, I'd obviously heard of miscarriages and 1 in 4 people will have a miscarriage. But when you get pregnant, like Will said, all you envision is what your life is going to be with that baby and what, you know, you just really envision what life will be like. And I'd never really thought it would happen to me. Obviously, it was in the back of my mind that people do have miscarriages, but I didn't think that I would actually be affected. And I was saying to Will, like, when I was younger and I used to hear of people having miscarriages, like early miscarriages, I couldn't quite understand the emotional attachment to the baby, because I used to think, oh, but the baby was only young. But having gotten pregnant and lost the baby, I realised that as soon as you find out you were pregnant, you have that emotional bond and that emotional connection to your baby, and all you're thinking about is what they're going to look like, you know, whether it be a girl, whether it be a boy. You start thinking about names. I'd even bought like a little outfit for the baby, because I just like, it's like your mindset just like changes straight away. And then to just have that taken away from you, it was absolutely devastating. I remember when we were having the scan and, you know, she did the external scan, the normal one, and I think when she was taking ages, I realised that actually something isn't quite right. And they did an internal one, and then she said, you know, sorry, there's no heartbeat. And it just, I can't even like describe the feeling of it. And then obviously after that, you have to walk through a ward where there's like loads of pregnant women. And it's absolutely awful. It's horrendous. And it's not something that you would want anybody to go through.
Yeah, no, I agree with that, yeah.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. How do you think having a miscarriage or experiencing that has affected our relationship in a negative or positive way? Whichever one.
Oh, I think it brought us together in some ways. I don't think it, I think when it happened, I think we kind of got really, I mean, definitely for the first 2 weeks, they were... First 2 weeks were terrible but great in terms of our relationship. But like I think the first I keep saying this 2 weeks thing, like I was there for it. I'm not gonna say I wasn't, but I think it brought us closer together. I think I think in some ways I understood your emotions a bit more and how you process things. And you kind of understood, like you said, like I like to just bury things under the mat and just whatever. Like you understood how I deal with things. It's not maybe the right way, but it's just the way I do.
Mm.
Yeah,
I think for me, the moment that it hit me that, I knew he cared, but the moment that it really hit me that I really cared is we had like a little small burial. Is that how you say it? Burial. Yeah. Burial for the baby. And I was like, come on, Will, let's go. And he was like, why don't you go? Because I want to spend 5 minutes or something like that with the baby. Because Will's mum got us like a tiny, tiny little, I don't know, like a little box.
Oh, yeah, to put it in.
Yeah, it was so, the box was so, beautiful. And, yeah, we'd put, the baby in there and buried in Will's mum and dad's garden. But, yeah, for me, it was at that moment I thought, oh, he really is like affected by this. This means something to him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of any other questions. Is there anything you want to ask me?
Nah.
Alright, well, I think that's it. Oh, one thing I wanted to say is if you are going through a miscarriage and have experienced it, I found sites like the Miscarriage Association really helpful, as well as Tommy's. I found like reading about miscarriages as well, just in general, really helped me to get like a better understanding, because when you are going through it, you really do feel like it's just you. But yeah, use your resources, use your support networks, because it's a really hard time, and it's not something that you want to go through on your own. So as much as possible, try, you know, use your support networks to help you through the situation. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video and you found it somewhat informative. If you'd like to see more videos with us too, let me know in the comments below. But yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video, and thank you for Will for appearing.
Oh, thank you.
He's made an appearance like a year and a half later, or like nearly 2 years.
Is it that long?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Getting him to do a video, oh my goodness, guys. It's a struggle. But yeah,
I'm here.
he's here, he's done it, so
Brilliant.
pat on the back.
Say, oh, don't be doing that. I even mentioned
Well
that.
done, Will. Go pat on the back.
Thank you.
Well done. Anyway, we'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.
See you later.